guys, it's Floz. Welcome back to another Flosstube video. In today's video, I'll be showing you what I've been up to for the month of July and a little bit of August. If you're interested, then keep watching. Today is Saturday, 6th of August, maybe just after 5 o'clock. I was trying to make this video before, but the dogs were getting too restless, especially Rocket. He just kept making noises. So we had to address their needs. Now they're fed, at least. So hopefully they'll settle for a little bit longer until this video is done, and maybe we'll think about walking them. So it's very rare that I make these videos late. Generally, if the weekend falls on like the end of the month, I would do it towards the end of the month. But I've mentioned it in my previous video before that that I had this little bit of like identity issue and mental struggle with like what I want in terms of making videos and having this channel and whatnot. So last weekend I really didn't feel like filming. I did film a Stitch with Me, which ended up going nowhere because we used a new camera that JP bought for his upcoming birthday as his birthday present, but it didn't work very well at all. Like everything was so blurry and you couldn't see much, and I think the sound quality was not good either, so I just scratched that, deleted the video. I might remake it though, because I was trying to explain and rationalize exactly what went on in my head these past few months and how I was very unhappy, unsure of like what was going on here and what I wanted to achieve and what my expectations would be with this channel and my videos, to finally, I guess, reaching a conclusion and I guess coming to peace with it. So maybe I'll make the same or similar video to do a Stitch with Me like this weekend, maybe tomorrow. Anyways, so haul. In my last video, I also mentioned I probably wouldn't buy anything until my birthday month, which will be in October, but I did purchase. And if you remember, in July, I should have got $70-ish hobby budget left, and I purchased the quantum frame like stretcher bars with the metal clamps. I won't show you here because you'll see it later. Now that one in Australia where what's it called, it's Thread Collective, which is the only official retailer in Australia for quantum frame related items. I think they are trying to stock some new items from the factory, so they're trying to make space. Then they had this 15% off on their current quantum frame stock, which really never happened, so I ended up biting the bullet and spent $204, which was originally $240, for 20 centimeters quantum frame stretcher bars. And after the July $50, now I still owe, I think $80 or something. I'll put like the details somewhere on the screen, which means I wouldn't be able to buy anything for another 2 months, which is fair enough. And I actually did make the purchase for my big 30th birthday cross-stitch whole birthday present. It cost me a fortune, but I think I'm excited. I mean, it's not even fully kitted up, and it's like more than 600 Australian dollars. I'm still waiting for the stuff to come. Apparently, like, it's gonna take a long time. So, yep. Let's go straight on to stitching, I guess. Now, for the month of July, I had 5 days of no stitching. I think there were quite a few, like, Thursdays for some reason. So they were the 6th, 7th, 14th, 18th, and 21st, so 5 days. And I had 5 whips before, and this month I worked on 3 of my old whips, or my current whips, plus 1 new start. Chronologically, I worked on the countryside first. Now, it is a pretty big kit that I purchased from Amazon. It is by Stitch DMC or Mac Stitch. I think the stitch count is like 350 by 262 or something like that. And I'm up to page 4. Now, it's my first time putting it away, so now it's in a like quantum frame dust bag. And this is the dust bag. It's like slightly smaller than desired, but it's still okay. Okay. Now, I'll show you. Oh, I just remembered I didn't get all the previews. It's okay. I'll put all the previews like on the screen. It's easier anyways. This is my progress. So normally when I have the sidebars, you wouldn't be able to see this like poking out section. But yeah, I did a little bit downward when I first started. Closer. So I just worked mainly on the branch on the side, and yes, I am aware that that margin on that side is very small. It's because I was supposed to start more towards like I was supposed to start not on this line but like 10 stitches away, but I forgot, so that made the whole like that side very small, which is okay. Like if I have to add another like section of fabric just to frame it, I'll do it. Doesn't bother me too much. I guess the comparison will be up and down, otherwise it's very hard. So this one, I'm hoping to eventually get it done and I can gift it to my parents. Anyways. So it's done on 14 count of Ada, 14 count Ada 2/1, and everything is from the kit. Okay. Now I can give you some figures. So the countryside, I worked altogether 7 days, from the 1st to the 3rd of July and 8th to 11th of July. Pretty much it's like a weekend project in that first 2 weeks. And the 9th and 11th weren't full days. So at the same time I also worked on another project on the days. and altogether I worked on it for 17 hours and 30 minutes, so 17 and a half hours. I think I was just feeling a bit bad that previous month. I didn't really focus too much on this, and I've been working on it for I think 2 years this November. Yeah, so it will be 2 years this November, and I'm kind of annoyed that I haven't made that much dent on this project. Because this one is a paper chart, and what I do normally is just taking a picture and then use the good notes like a PDF reader to just mark it off. So the progress is quite slow because you have to eyeball each symbol. So I'm thinking maybe I've done like 25% or something like that, but it's too slow. But like there's nothing else I can do. I suppose I can scan it and put it into Markup R-XP, but we'll see. So that's the countryside. And then the next project I worked on was Coffee Break. It is by Design Works, and it's on 14 count Ada as well, 2/1. And it is my very first Design Works cross stitch kit. I didn't bring the preview, so I'll have to show you my progress. Now my goal pretty much is to just finish one coffee every time I pick it up. So I finished Shot in the Dark, and I'll put a comparison left to right. If I get it closer to you, you might notice like some of the words seem a bit weird because all the I's are supposed to have a French knot, but I want to do it last because just in case like later on when I iron it, I might like squash the French knot, so I'm just leaving it. It's looking pretty good. The only thing is, even if somehow I can keep up one per month, it will still take me ages because I still have like a lot. So altogether there are 12. If you're still watching at this point, maybe let me know which one you want me to do, because I can do this, this, or this. Yeah. Personally, I would want to finish this one first because I've got the border pretty much done on 2 sides already, and it would save me time to complete this one. But yeah. So for Coffee Break, I overall stitched for 9 days, and they were 4th to 5th of July, 9th and 11th. So Coffee Break shared the 2 days with the countryside, 12th to 13th and 15th to 17th. So like what I said, my end goal was to at least finish one coffee symbol and move on. So on 17th I did that, then I stitched, so I moved on to another project. Okay. Then the last whip I did was Wedding Sampler by Teresa Wenzler, and obviously I'll show you a preview here. I don't know, I'm not very organized today. So this one, I am doing it for my friend's wedding, which is really soon now. Her wedding should be on 8th of October, and I'm hoping to get it ready by then. Which means the next, well, this month and September, I might have to be somewhat monogamous on it, just to get it done. But if I can't, I'll just let her know and get it ready by October after her wedding. And I'll show you how much I did. There you go. It is my very first Teresa Wanzler pattern, and it's stitched on 32 count platinum Belfast, like what it's asked for, 2/1 pretty much. And the comparison will be left to right. I actually thought I did pretty good. Now I'll get closer to you. So I did this border, the back stitching, and I think I finished this floral bit and moved on here. I finished the pillar and moved on to this pillar, which is almost done. What else did I do? I also completed, I think, yeah, the satin stitch for this corner and started doing this. Now, with the satin stitches and the satin threads, I wasn't having the best time just with anchoring, because previously I would just tuck them in under the satin stitches, and I realized because the satin threads are so slippery, if you want to tuck them in, it can't be tucked in under the satin stitches. It will easily just slide out. So I actually asked in cross-stitch groups on Facebook what they did, or whether they had any tips in like anchoring or starting with the DMC satin threads. Some of them just said like you tuck them in and then you go back and tuck them in again and tuck them in again, and I realized like it's better if you tuck them in under a different thread stitch, as in if you have stitches made by the normal DMC cotton threads, do that, because the different texture will create more resistance in terms of like pulling it out. And also, if you can make a knot to anchor it, may it be starting the thread or ending the thread, do the knot. So the knot will create that anchor point to make sure, you know, the rest of the tail doesn't come out. Some people also told me maybe thinking about like putting a bit of phrase stop on the thread, just a little bit, like a very sheer layer. I will refrain from like doing that if I can avoid it, because then I don't know what kind of damage it will do later, or whether it will go all weird if I wash the project. What else do I want to tell you? So hopefully next month, well, August, I will be able to like fully complete or fully backstitch this column and finish this column. I will try to complete all the satin stitches, hopefully like with more ease, and continue working on this side, because then I still have like a pretty big specialty stitch band and also another like horizontal band, same as this one on top. Then I also have beading, so it's a pretty tight schedule. Wish me luck. Okay, so now that I've shown you my progress, let me give you some figure. Now, I worked pretty much religiously on Wedding Sampler from 17th after I finished the shot in the dark coffee for coffee break until 30th of July. So 12 days altogether, and I worked on it for 18 hours and 35 minutes. That's not too bad, because there's a lot of like frogging with the satin stitches and re-stitching, and that wasted quite a bit of time. Drink some water. Then on 31st, I made a new start, and I worked on it for 3 hours. I'll show you later. So overall in the month of July, I stitched for about 52 hours. The past few months, it was always like in the 40 something mark. So this month I stitched a bit more. The longest stitching day I had was on the 9th, the second Saturday of July. Now that day was supposed to be this southeastern suburb like cross stitches meeting up day. I said I would go, but on the day I just didn't feel like it. Like I was quite tired and exhausted, like physically and mentally, with work and stuff. So I didn't end up showing. But I stitched a lot on that day anyways, just at home. So on that day I stitched 7 hours and 10 minutes. And the shortest stitching day I had was on 19th, and it was 20 minutes before work. So yeah, on the 31st, I made a new start. And I kept mentioning, oh, I was gonna start this after I finished something, and then on that day I was just like, nah, stuff it. I felt quite down. I needed something to pick me up, so I'm just gonna start it because everything's ready. So I started Spring Will Come. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it already. So I did that 3 hours on 31st, which included like an hour-ish on camera for the stitch with me that I deleted. Yeah, I better show you my progress. And because of this project, I ended up putting away the countryside for the first time, and it's been on the Lowry stand for like so long. Oh, preview will be here, and I will grab the project for you. It is on the quantum frame as well. I think this one would be a 60 centimeters scroll bar. There we are. So as you can see, this is what I purchased that got me deep in debt with my hobby budget. It's got the metal clamps with a like magnet that shouldn't be there. When I loaded this one up, it was quite a bit of work because you kind of have to adjust a lot of knobs, but once you get it on there, the tension is quite nice, and I feel confident enough to rest my arm on the project. And this aider is quite stiff. It's a Y-guard aider, whereas the aider with the countryside that's provided in the kit is very soft. So it doesn't really create enough resistance with this thing that sits on top of the fabric. So with that one, sometimes it like rolls out, and and one time when I filmed it, I dropped it pretty much. Anyways, so yeah, so far I think this is pretty good. It's just if I need to adjust the fabric or something, there's a lot of like maneuvering needed. And I'll show you. Right now I'm still in the background section, and that's like the left side of the project. Oh, I should have said. So spring will come. The stitch count is 300 by 211 and I stitch it on 16 count 8R2/1. Is there anything else you need to know? Don't think so. There's a lot of dog hair and fluffs. Anyways, so yeah, right now I'm in like the blue zone with like lots of blocky colors, but towards this side there are more colors showing up. I'm getting there. So I'm pretty much just doing cross-country sort of color completing a little bit until the thread runs out and then start another color. But I think when I'm approaching the areas where there are gonna be a lot more color changes, I might start parking. Because otherwise I've noticed the stitches look quite messy. Yeah, I think I'm still not very good with attention, and I don't know whether I'll ever be good at like making my stitches look neat, but for now I just want to get better with time and experience and see what will work. I think with parking, you, especially if you do like row by row, your stitches do look neater. What else can I tell you? Oh yes, I can give you some figures. So with this one, it's a PDF chart from Artisy, and the designer is Vitas. So because it's a PDF chart, I could finally try out the Markup R-XP. I purchased it a while ago before all the like monthly subscription saga. I should have given you how much, like how long I stitched. Anyways, so I stitched it for 7 days. From 31st of July to today. I stitched 1 hour before I made this video as well. So altogether 14 and a half hours pretty much. And I will show you the Markup R-XP info. So what did I say? I said for me it's 14 hours and 25 minutes. 13 and a half hours. But this one, because I kept it on, it says 14 hours and 55 minutes. And I did 2,156 stitches and I'm at 3.2%. And this one records by page. So in terms of this page, I did 67.9%. The total stitch count you see is wrong because it included a lot of the like overlap bit. It counts the stitches by the grid you adjust. So whatever you include in the grid will be counted towards the total stitches. If your chart has the like overlay bit, then you'll have to adjust your grid to exclude that. Then it will have the correct total stitches. But I haven't adjusted it all, so the stitch count's a bit off. So in that case, I guess I actually, like, my stitching percentage should be a bit more than 3 point whatever percent that you saw. And because I was like always just eyeballing using paper chart with like good notes, it's quite nice having something to track your stitches for you. Now this one is not perfect because not a lot of the time, but sometimes you notice like it tracked a lot of stitches of the same symbol, but it will like miss a couple. Then you can just manually select them or adjust the sensitivity of like how well it can detect the differences in different symbols. But with that, if you notice they're only missing like one or two, don't adjust it, just manually select it when you notice it. If like there's a huge chunk of stitches that's not included when it's trying to trace it, then you adjust it. That's what I've learned, I guess, from using this app for like the last week. Overall, I quite like it. It takes a bit of getting used to in terms of when you can select another symbol, because when you select it, like you have to go to mark a function first before you can select another one. Otherwise, the system will think you are trying to include other stitches of the same symbol that the initial trace missed, if I'm making sense. Maybe I'll use it a bit more, and I might make a video of like how to use this. Although the creator of this app already has a channel explaining everything you might encounter, and there's also a Facebook group for this software where you can post like your problems, and some of the other people or the creator of the software will come up to like solve it for you. And then I think there's also I feel like it's a file where like people can put in what they wished the app would have in like the next update. So it's quite cool. The only thing is right now, if you purchase it, it's subscription based, like you have to pay a fee every month, whereas before it's just one time fee, which was like just below 20 Australian dollars, so maybe like 14 US or something. But then even with the subscription, a lot of people still sign on because it is really convenient, and I have noticed the progress comes much faster with the software's help compared to the countryside, where I literally have to like painstakingly eyeballing and trying to plan my stitches. So yeah, so far I'm really enjoying this one. I think my plan is to mainly focus on the wedding sampler, and when I can, like I will stitch a bit more on the spring will come. And maybe I'll put aside the coffee break as well, at least for these like 2 months, until I finish the wedding sampler. That really takes priority. So yeah, I guess the next few months stitching life will be quite boring, and I'm thinking instead of like making the stitch update like at the end of August, since I won't be stitching that many things, maybe I'll just do one like towards the end of September or something, or like after the wedding. I haven't decided, because there's no point just coming up to show you, oh, I didn't purchase anything, or I only worked on these 2 projects that I said I would, and here we go. No one wants to watch that. So yeah, I might wait to make the next stitching update until like there's something big happening or something exciting. Now, where are my notes? what else do I want to talk about? I think that's pretty much the end of like the stitching update. And if you're only here for the stitching, that's the end. I'll see you in the next video if you come back. So I'm just gonna like quickly talk about like what's been happening, like life-wise. Now, in terms of video, I will make the stitch with me again, just using my phone to film, not the new camera. The new camera is good for its long battery life, but it's very bad at zooming in and showing the details. It's similar to GoPro. I guess it has like it's very good at like showing moving pictures, but when you want to zoom in on something, it's not very good. Yeah, so I will be filming that stitch with me again, talking about like what's gone through my head these past few months, when like where I'm struggling with, I guess, finding motivations to make videos and dealing with like how the channel's going and exactly like what my expectations should be realistically with how the channel and my videos are going, or what I want to achieve in general. So it's pretty much like the conversation I've had in my head with myself the past few months and talking to JP. So I'll make that video. I'm also thinking about talking about this like sidebar thing, but I better use it a bit more and think how I want to make it. And in the comment section you can also ask me like the specific details if you want to know in terms of like this quantum frame sidebar or whatever, because I know there are like new products coming up. Instead of this like sidebar with this knob that can go into the hole, now they have this metal holder thing on each side, and apparently it's much easier to load it in. And they also have this, what do they call it? It's like a segregator thing or something. So you put it in the middle of your project and it provides more tension. It just like sits in the middle. I might put a like picture there. So yeah, there are some new products coming. I don't know whether you need it, and I don't think they're like that cheap. So I guess wait until like other people have done their reviews, and then you decide whether you need it or not. And what other videos might I make? I'm not sure whether I still want to make the stitching vlogs, unless you want to see more dogs. I feel like my stitching vlogs tend to have more dogs than stitching sometimes. But if you want to see the dogs, let me know. I can always make more videos with dogs in it. And also, like, we had this heating saga, because our house is like more than 20 years old and the heater's been there with the house. So it's like a 20 or so year old heater, and it was working here and there before, but this winter it completely stopped, and we decided to get someone in to service it and see like what can be done. And we ended up burning a lot of money trying to fix it and realized it couldn't be fixed because one part that was needed was no longer being produced. So it turns out like this heater can't be fixed anyways. So thank God it's towards the end of winter, but we did have a like very cold winter. So I'm not looking forward to the electricity bill What else? And the next few months it's gonna be really busy because I've got my hens night coming up next week, and I had to like organize that in a hurry, and I was not enjoying the whole organization process, let's say that. And I've also got like JP's birthday coming up, and we want to do like day trips and stuff. And I got another friend's wedding to go to, and it's like they announced it just like last month. They were like, surprise, we decided to have this wedding anyways, blah 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 blah. And we're like, oh great. And I've got this like best friend's wedding in October, and I'm the bridesmaid, and I need to make a speech apparently, and I'm terrified of public speaking. But you can't, I guess if they ask you to do it, you can't say no, because it's quite an honor, but also like I'm terrified, and I've never been a bridesmaid before, and so I've never made a speech before that's wedding related. That's not for myself, so I don't know how that will go. And then I've got my own birthday as well, and work-wise, there is this new position at work that's pretty much opened just for me. It's an internal position, and I need to apply for it, and that will change the life schedule a little bit as well. And yeah, I'm not sure what will happen. It's quite unpredictable, let's say that. And I've got other like bits and bobs as well. So these 2 months, hopefully I won't get sick, because it's like busy as hell. So you should be able to see me soon, at least for the Stitch With Me videos, and in terms of seeing my face, I don't know when. If there's anything worth updating, I might make a like YouTube post just to let you know what's been happening. And you can follow me on Instagram. I think in the future I might make a bit more effort in like posting photos more, just to show you what I've been stitching on and my progress. And that's pretty much it, I think. And if you've watched this much hearing me ramble, thank you so much. And also thank you for waiting this long for my stitching update, since it's 1 week late. And hopefully I'll get through the next few months unscathed. And let me know if you have any questions, concerns, what sort of videos you want to see, what you want to say to me. Just leave a comment, or just I don't know, comment on my Instagram account on the pictures. I think that's enough rambling. I've done it for like 40 or so minutes, which is pretty good. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And if you have been following me along, thank you so much. It's not easy to tolerate this channel, I guess, with the different contents going on, and our like filming schedules all over the place. And I hope you have a good day doing whatever that's making you happy, and I'll see you in the next video.